This week on the Steam Machine podcast.
Oi! Ranger! I hear you're gonna record a podcast about us. It better be good or I'm gonna cut you up into pieces and feed you to a caragor. Cue the music!
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always are the Destructo Bros.
What's up, everybody? It's Nate.
Reporting at you from under the mines of Moria, it's Willie.
How are you boys doing? What you been up to these past 2 weeks? Let's start with Willie. Willie, how you doing, my bud?
I'm all right, man. Just doing my thing, staying alive. I actually didn't prepare for the "what have you been up to lately" question, so let's see, what have I been up to lately? My controller's been really bugging out lately, so today I actually went and bought a new one, because I'd just been thinking I was playing terrible in video games, and then today I'm like, no, the menu is, like, I usually don't use the analog stick for menuing in games, I usually use the D-pad for it. And so today I actually yesterday I tried to analog stick the map in Shadows of Mordor, and I'm like, oh, this is actively not going where I'm telling it. So I checked the calibration screen, and yeah, the stick had been completely busted. And so I thought I was just really playing video games badly lately.
Yeah, I can attest to Willie feeling like, because we were playing Rocket League the other night. I was like, man, I'm so bad at this game. I keep flipping when I'm meaning to jump. This is bullshit.
But it wasn't your fault.
It's so easy to just do something mechanically wrong in Rocket League and it be your fault that I'm used to blaming myself and be like, damn, I messed up a trick. It felt like I did it right, but I must not have.
Man, I tell you, that's a game that I really enjoyed until I really didn't.
That's fair.
Was Rocket League. Like, man, I had a lot of fun with that game. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know what? I'm never playing this again. And I uninstalled it and haven't touched it since. I do like the cars in it, though. Like, the way you can design your cars and stuff, super cool. Give me a racing game with car customization like that, like a kart racer, I'm all about it. Trademark, Steam Machine Podcast, we want some of that fucking money.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to make something mechanically race-like with that engine, because, like, there's a lot of stuff those cars can do that they handle really fun, too. It's like, I'm surprised they haven't tried to branch out into more games using that engine a little bit.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, hauling ass down a track and having to, like, flip jump over to another track to keep going and stuff? It would be so cool.
That'd be sick, yeah.
Man, if any developers listen to this.
Yeah, it's something that modders have done. There's, like, modders that have done that before, but, like, why don't the actual people that own the game make a single-player or a racing Rocket League-based game? Like, it would probably sell gangbusters.
Call it Rocket League Racing or Rocket Racing or Racing League. There's so many things you could go with it.
Supersonic racing cars.
Car ball minus the ball. Call it Car, like how that one PlayStation 2 shooter was just named Gun.
Oh my god. You want to talk? I had that on Xbox, right? You want to talk about a game that was like Red Dead before Red Dead, but story didn't age quite well. Didn't age quite well. It was like a Cowboys versus Indian style. And it's just rough. But fun gameplay. I remember that was the first game I ever rode a horse to death on accident. Just riding it too hard for too long.
Save a cowboy, ride a horse.
Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. So, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Let's see. Did I have anything else? I said last week I was going to try to play a game of chess against everyone from like 100 different countries. I only ended up playing one game. But I beat someone from Chile. That's one country down. 99 to go.
Yeah. Should have been like, your peppers aren't even hot.
Dang. More like red cold Chile peppers. Got 'em.
Hey.
I'm sorry, any listeners from Chile. You're probably okay. when I had some downtime, I went back and did some lessons in the constructed language Tokipona, and now I know all the words from it, including how to do the writing system, which I never learned the writing system before. I just learned the basic Latin writing, but people made up a writing system for it too, which is
So what you're
cool.
telling me is that
fun.
I should end this episode with your rap?
No, you're not.
I want you to know this.
So
I want you to know this, and I mean this like from the bottom of my heart. Since I have edited that and sent it back to you, I will randomly be at work like I really do. It plays in my fucking head, bro. It's catchy. I don't even know what it is, but it's catchy.
So for listeners, for no apparent reason, I got a weird idea to just translate, or I would almost say translate, but it's more like adapt, like the first verse of the Aesop rock song "Long-Legged Larry" into the language Tokipona and just cut a little, like, half of the first verse, and I had fun with it. But then Dalton took it and he, like, remastered it and stuff, and it kind of sounded kind of good, and I'm like, what? So that was fun.
Yeah, I had fun. I was like, dude, send me the raw file of that. And you're like, I don't know how much you could save this, and I'm like, just let me try. And then I sent it back, and you were like, dude, how'd you do this in like 30 minutes?
They only took like 30 minutes on it, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
But he did all these cool, like, the equalizations and stereo, reverb, all that. I don't know, I thought it sounded pretty cool. Maybe I'll do another Tokipona rap sometime, and you can figure that out. Although there's only 120 words, so there's only so many rhymes. Well, there's 132 words now, but still.
Do a song with every word.
No, because someone has actually done that before. They called it, like, the Pona rap, and it was, like, based on the Poke rap. Because there's almost exactly the same number of each of them.
Tremendous. Oh, man. Well, Nate, what about you, man? What you been up to these past couple weeks?
Yeah, you guys know about a little bit of the stuff that I don't feel is podcast appropriate, so I'm not going to talk about it here. So instead, I'm going to talk about the TV shows I've been watching. So, there's one reality competition show that I've been really getting into. It has one full season on Hulu right now, and the new season kind of just started. There's 3 episodes into it. It's called Claim to Fame. And basically what this show is there's like a bunch of celebrities' relatives all in this house together, and they're trying to figure out who their celebrity relative is. So, like, they're trying to keep it a secret who they're related to, but they'll keep getting clues to who might be the celebrity relative in the houses. It's just kind of funny, ridiculous shit like that. And it's really interesting because the show kind of lets you try to figure it out too. It doesn't like just straight up tell you who everybody is.
Oh, well, that's cool. I wonder who came up with that concept.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And who their famous sister is.
And then the other show I kind of started watching, it's like this 5-episode show. It's called Kunk on Earth. And it's basically a documentary series, kind of, where it's this, like, this lady's a comedian in real life, and she's kind of doing interviews with scientists and stuff, asking about the origins of life on Earth, and then, like, religion, and, like, the modernization of man and stuff. Just talking to these people, these, like, really actual scientists and stuff, interviewing them. But her questions are ridiculous. Like, she'll be like, so, which is better, the Bible or the Koran? It's just so freaking funny, and all like the jokes, it's really like absurdist. All the jokes come way out of left field on it, and it just like cracks me the hell up. I'd highly recommend that to people.
I prefer the Torah.
I've heard a little bit about her. I've heard a little bit about her, and apparently, like, a couple of times people will actually be in on the joke and play along with the interview, but apparently it's kind of like Sacha Baron Cohen, where some people, like, have no idea that they're being pranked.
Yeah,
sometimes.
It definitely feels that way. It's really freaking funny. That's actually a really good analog to it. Like, it's a different type of humor, I'd say, but like just like that interview style.
It's less mocking.
That's what's up.
Like, I think the idea is Philomena or whatever Kunk is supposed. It's supposed to be like. Thank you.
Fallopian.
Like, she's supposed to be a goofus or whatever. Like, yeah. Like, there's less, like, intent, I think.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. So that's those are 2 shows that I wanted to bring up. I think are really good. Really funny stuff. I'd recommend them. Like, and those, like, Kunk on Earth ones, they're like 30 minutes long, but, like, There's so much packed into those 30 minutes. Like, I remember we were just watching the first one. I was just like laughing for like 30 minutes straight.
That's always the best, dude. That's like, I can throw on Letterkenny and it just makes me laugh the whole time. And I always feel so good afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I love those types of shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, what about you, Dalton?
Me? I'll save the work BS for the other show.
Yeah.
Although I will point out, I do want to say, I requested off this Saturday and Sunday, right? And she gave me Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. Which, hey, cool, 4 days off in a row, sweet. But also, 19 hours. That fucking hurts my fucking wallet. But I've just been playing some stuff and playing a lot of Persona 5 Royal. I just got Best Girl. And that's all I'll say. I got Best Girl.
Oh, yeah, man. I've been playing a lot of Persona 5 also. Like, spoiler alert, I played more Persona 5 these last 2 weeks than I did Shadow of Mordor.
That he did. I think they even brought it up in the Discord where they were like screenshotting me and you playing Persona 5. Like, oh, look, it warms the cockles of the heart.
Yeah.
I don't have any cockles. I didn't play any Persona.
but you installed it, right?
I did install it, but otherwise I'm cockleless.
That's the step one. Other than that, dude, let's see. I played a little AEW Fight Forever. You guys want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm curious about it because, like, I mean, it's the first game for this company. It got delayed a whole bunch, and I don't know. I'm interested in just how it ended up.
Okay. For a first outing, it's not bad. It's very arcadey. I know that's what they were going for, but it's more arcadey than, say, like the No Mercy games and stuff were. So there's like this.
What would you compare it more to, like the old SmackDown games, or maybe more like that?
It almost reminds me of a weird mishmash of No Mercy, SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, and Fire Pro.
I mean, theoretically, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. If they do some updates and maybe some free roster updates, there would be more to it. It is a very bare bones game. Like, I went in and I checked it out. I haven't done the story mode yet. Let me go ahead and clarify. So I have not done the Path of the Elite or whatever it is. But there's exhibition matches. So like you're 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and I think 4-on-4. Then you have your exploding barbed wire death match. And then I think you have a ladder match, a falls count anywhere match. And I think that might be it. Like, there are not a lot of match types, right? Entrances are all of 6-7 seconds long, maybe 10 at the most. So, like, you can make your dude look really cool and make things happen, but it's not very long. I created Blade. Jesus Christ. But, of course, I made Blade. I always do. And the Creation Suite, I was very disappointed in the Creation Suite. Not a lot of choices. Compared to,
like, cosmetically, or
like mask wise, like I couldn't find like a face cover that wasn't like a legit like medical mask that would go around your ears. And you guys know, like in the WWE games, I always use that one. It covers, it's like a gator almost. It covers your entire face and around the back of your neck and stuff. That's what I use for Blade. I used that in Fire Pro for him as well. And I couldn't do that here. I had to give him a black Jason mask. And it just, looks odd, right? And it just throws me off. Gameplay wise, though, fun. A little weird, but I don't know. Like I said, I think with a couple updates, it could hash out some of the mechanical issues I was running into in matches and stuff. Where, like, you know, you'd hit an Insigiri, and maybe they're going for Willie, I'm sorry. Maybe they're going for AEW realism. So when I throw an Insigiri and he sells it, but it misses his head by a fucking mile, they're just going for what you see on TV. But those are things that are just going to be worked out with updates. And I think that they have a good base where either they can update this and make it good, or their next outing, as long as it doesn't take them 4 years and this is what they deliver, will be better. I would not pay $60 for this game. I would pay at most $29.99, but I would probably grab it on sale for cheaper than that.
Are they asking 60 for it? Are they asking 60 for it?
Yeah, it's $59.99.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just, I don't know. I couldn't justify that to myself with the state it's in now. Now, like I said, they fix it up, make it all shiny. I'm all about it.
Does it seem like one of those ones where like the sequel is likely to like pick up where they left off, like almost like I don't know, kind of like how WCW Revenge had a lot of stuff that World Tour didn't have, for instance, in terms of like filling out match modes and stuff like that.
I feel like
if the core gameplay loop is fine, they can just expand it with, you know,
if
the other stuff.
Yeah, if they let's compare it to the SmackDown games. This could easily be Shut Your Mouth, or not Shut Your Mouth, excuse me. Was it Shut Your Mouth? And then Here Comes the Pain came next. Where Here Comes the Pain is like the one everybody loves to this day. So like they have an opportunity to take what they built and release a banger, but build up from the base now. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
So that's that. Let's see what else. I played a little WWE, played a little Wrestling Empire. I've been on a kick, if you can't tell. I will say, been chilling over at Brandy's house and we've been watching American Horror Story Cult.
Nice.
And we got 2 episodes left. And I have been thoroughly enjoying, and Nate, you'll know, I have been thoroughly enjoying the moments in that show where I feel Brandy's face just shoot left and look at me and go, "What?" And I'm like, "Yep." Because that, oh man, there's been a couple scenes too where she's like, "What are we watching right now?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, that'll happen.
I think we're watching 2 dudes do it right now is what we're doing. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been fun watching her reaction and stuff. Cracks me up. I reinstalled Red Dead 2. Gonna plan on playing that. I've been feeling like doing some good fishing, and I know there's good fishing in that game. I've been playing Session. So Session is like a skateboard simulator game where your left stick controls your left foot and your right stick controls your right foot. And there's no need to go into a bunch of details on it because it's just a skateboarding game. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. Now that I'm getting used to the controls, I'm getting myself away from being used to skate controls and I'm getting used to Session controls, which is going to fuck me up when Skate 4 finally comes out. And I got to go back to that. But I've been having a blast with that too. Just hitting some rails and then playing some video games.
Got him.
Oh man. Yeah. And I don't know if I mentioned it on the last episode, but I did roll credits on Hogwarts Legacy. Good game.
Oh, nice.
So, boys, these past 2 weeks we played and kind of played Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Right? But before we get into that, it's everybody's favorite segment, the O-Dubs, the obligatory Wikipedia bullshit. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor is a 2014 action-adventure video game developed by Monolith Productions and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. An original story based on the Legendarium created by J.R.R. Tolkien. The game takes place between the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings film trilogies. The player controls Talion, a Gondorian ranger who bonds with the wraith of the elf lord blank, because we're going to save that. Or do you want to reveal that now to Nate? Does it matter? Because you were not wanting to reveal that before the episode, Willie. So.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't realize, I thought it might be spoilers because it isn't revealed for a little while, but yeah, it turns out that the Wraith's identity is Celebrimbor, who is the guy that forged the Rings of Power.
Yeah, you bond with the Wraith of the Elf Lord Celebrimbor. Yeah, that guy. Whatever.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower Alley Club. Yeah, that guy. As the two set out to avenge the deaths of their loved ones, players can engage in melee combat, use wraith abilities to fight and manipulate enemies, and the game introduces the Nemesis system, which allows the artificial intelligence of non-playable characters to remember their prior actions against the game's protagonist and react accordingly. So.
You left me to burn, Ranger. Now I'll get ya.
Oi, you ran away last time, Ranger. Nowhere to go for you now.
Yeah, dude. So, first impressions, gentlemen. You guys want me to start for once?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Switching it up. Switch hitter over here. So my first experience with this game was I got it on PlayStation 4 back in the day. And I put more time on the PlayStation 4 than I did in the PC version. And I beat the game on PC. PS4, dude, I was just running around, doing all the side stuff, doing all the weapon stuff to get the best versions of your sword and all that jazz, unlocking my runes. Wiped out the entirety of the Sauron army that you could.
Oh, wow.
Never, ever fucking remembered to go do the actual main story. So I put like 20 to 30 hours into this game on PS4, never realizing there's a whole second map. So like, yeah, I was like tired of this game on PS4 by the time I started doing quests. And when I loaded in to the second map and they were like, oh yeah, and now you have a whole new set of shit to do.
Including a second army.
Yeah, a whole new army that I was like, I'm done. and I didn't play it again until now. And my first impressions coming to it on PC ran a lot smoother. And it was easy to go back to this fighting scheme with Batman and Spider-Man and those games under my belt now than it was getting used to this when I first played it back in the day. Because at the time I hadn't played the Batman games. You know, I played Arkham City after this game.
Yeah.
So what about you, Nate? What was your first impression with it?
Yeah, I dove in and like it kind of... The way it drops you into the game, it starts you off with a bunch of little story beats, and it makes the game feel like it's going to be a very different kind of game than it actually is. Because, like, at the beginning, it has you basically training with your son, and then, like, a bunch of Uruks come and, like, invade and burn down the building you're in. And it starts you off doing a bunch of little, like, almost stealth missions and barely any, like, what the combat becomes in the game. And for the intro, in my opinion, is actually super kind of generic. Where it's like, oh no, I watched my wife and child get killed in front of me, and now I must avenge. Like, that's kind of what the basic story is. Like, okay, this is corny and cheesy, but that's fine. And once you actually start playing the game and you get into those combat systems and things, like, yeah, that's when it really starts to feel like it's. I can't even really say it feels like its own thing, but it feels like a good thing to play because it doesn't feel like its own thing. It feels like a dumbed down version of Batman Arkham Asylum.
It does, man, but the sword play is so smooth. At least it was for me. What about you, Will? What was your first impression with it?
So one thing I kept noticing, even between you guys and between every other review I'd read, is when people compared it to other games, they always compared it to the Arkham games. Not any other beat 'em up, but specifically Arkham. And so when I got into the combat, I'm like, okay, why does everyone keep comparing it to Arkham? And it's like, oh, it has like the exact same speed, rhythm, flow of combat, the same like timing for fatalities and stuff, basically, except it requires less actual rhythm.
Right. Like that's the way I felt too. It's like, you know, if Batman Arkham games were like, you're kind of like a rhythm game where you have to be on the beat and hit things on time. This game gives you like literally a 2-second window to hit a counter.
Yeah. And also, there is, like, I think within the skill level ups, there is an incentive to hit your sword swings at a certain rhythm because it will give you more of your counter at a time. I never fucked with that. I had no need to fuck with that.
Yeah.
Just go in there.
It's not even, you don't get that much. It's like if you only hit the button one time after each attack, then you get like critical hits or whatever, which basically just give you double the combo. But you also only need 5 or 8 hits to unleash the next thing in your combo. So you're really getting back to it really quick no matter what you do.
So was it like, I guess this is a question I have. Was this game developed by like a similar, like the same team that developed Batman?
It's developed by a group called Monolith. Let me see what else they did.
I got it pulled up right here. Monolith's first game was Blood for MS-DOS and Microsoft Windows.
Okay.
Which was was a first-person shooter Doom clone, I think.
Yeah, no, Blood is a build engine game. That was like the second biggest inspiration to the game we played last week, Dusk.
So they also did No One Lives Forever 2.
No One Lives Forever, yeah.
They did Fear.
Why does everything tie into each other?
I don't know. It's so weird though. They did Condemned 1 and 2. They did Gotham City Imposters. They did Guardians of Middle Earth. They did Shadow of Mordor. They did Shadow of War, and they are working on a Wonder Woman game. Apparently,
Okay.
yeah, and oh my god, they published. They didn't develop, but they published Septerra Core: Legacy of the Creator, which was the PC attempt of being like, hey, we can do JRPGs on the PC too that aren't ports. It's a straight PC game, and it's a cult classic. I'll give it that. I want to play it.
I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess the thing is, like, I guess both of these are kind of Warner Brothers properties, so I guess it kind of makes sense that they play similarly.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were published by the same, company, so that might have something to do with it. Where they were like, "Hey, can we borrow y'all's combat system?" Sure. Come on over here and get you a copy. It's on 72 floppy disks right over there. Oh man, Willie, if you would like to discuss some of the story, you can. I'm gonna give my opinion on it really quickly, and then touch on whatever you happen to bring up if I remember. I paid attention to the story of this game up until I got to the dwarf guy, Torin, I think is his name, or something like that.
Yeah, I was like Torben.
I did not give a fuck about his hunting story or any of that, and it just soured me. So I don't know what was going on in the second map.
I haven't done any of his stuff. I was only doing things that involved the Queen story on the second map.
Okay,
And the War Chief.
It just didn't tickle my fancy, I will say, I do want to bring up this before I forget, because me and Nate talked about that we needed to bring this up. There is a quest line in this game where you meet Gollum, and this game came out 2014, and I believe all of us would like to point out that Gollum looked so much better in this game from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
No, more than that.
Nobody. Nah.
Yeah, no, 9 years ago. It's not 2021 anymore. What the fuck am I thinking? Yeah, 9 years ago. Looks better than the one that came out this year. And
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough for the new Gollum game. We're not playing that for the show.
Yeah, no, because it's a stealth game, and Lord of the Rings stealth game does not scream Dalton play me to me.
Not when the Metal Gear Solid.
You can play this game as a Lord of the Rings stealth game, and it's okay.
Especially not when Metal Gear Solid games are actually coming out in a little while.
Also, I want to go ahead and say up front, one thing I think is pretty sweet about this game is the fact that it lets you choose whether you kind of want to be more interested in ranged combat, stealth combat, or action combat, and kind of spec into one or the other. And I think that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I agree, because I very much would swap between the whole, as they're running at me, try to pick off a few of them with some headshots, and then I'd be out of arrows, and then go in with the sword and stuff. Or, try to sneak up behind them, maybe gut a few of them before I get noticed, shoot the fire, make the fire explode.
Yeah. I kind of touched on how I felt about the story at the very beginning when I talked about the intro. This story never grabbed me at all. This is a game that if you play through it, I think it's more about the gameplay than it is about the story. Full disclosure, I played this game for all of 2 hours because I was like, man, if I wanted to play a game like this again, I would play Arkham Asylum again, because this game is a strict downgrade, in my opinion, from Arkham Asylum, and Arkham Asylum had a fun story to play through.
Yeah, plus you're Batman.
Yes, you're the Batman.
I will say one thing I think is very amusing about this game is, especially, with Zelda having come out again recently and all that, how the main mechanic in mapping in the Zelda Switch games is going up to towers, and you have a high vantage point, and then you can go to the next tower and whatnot. It is really funny in this game when you go to one region's tower and you go to what looks far away on the map and it says 400 feet. And you're like, oh man, if I were you guys, I would have lied and said it was further. At least pretend like the map is a little bigger than it is, because it basically seems like all of Mordor is about 2 square miles.
Yeah, because there are times it's like, it looks like you need to run across the entire map, and you click it, you're like, all right. And then it's like, it's 650 feet away. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, those feet go by fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you get that little ability where you can just like hop over a little rock and then press A and you shoot faster.
I like that.
And it's like, or run faster, and it's like, man, you zip there in no time.
It is funny how you say like this. Like you can make that comparison to like those Switch Zelda games because like I swear I played this like a Switch Zelda game. Like I would like kind of sneak up when I could and do a stealth kill on my enemies, and then take out what I could with arrows from far away, and then go in and do the brutalizing combat. I will say this game has great combat. Like, you can't deny that from it, but it's pretty much easier Arkham combat.
Yeah.
I will say that also the game's combat has like a bit of a tuning issue to me where like most of the combat is, like you said, it feels like a elementary version of Batman until you're surrounded by like 30 dudes and you have to deal with arrows and spearmen and berserkers and guys with shields all at once. And all of a sudden it's like, your tools just stop working once you reach a certain scale, basically.
Yeah. In your experience, Willie, I'm sure you ran into one of these guys at some point, but Nate, did you get to a point, where you ran into somebody who was invulnerable to range, invulnerable to stealth, and then you try to attack them from the front, and they basically tell you to fuck off, so you have to like hop over them and hit them with the thing, and then attack them fast? Like,
I didn't see anybody like that. I did run into this one guy who was invulnerable to stealth and ranged, but he also had a weakness to finishers. So like I hit him like 5 times and used a finisher, and he immediately died.
Hell yeah. So, Willie, yeah, you know what I'm talking about then, right?
Yeah, I did actually run into one. He wasn't even a war chief. He was like a veteran captain or whatever that had the shield and the other invulnerabilities. But he also had the berserker thing where you couldn't just flip over him. He would just push you down if you tried to jump over him. So I think the way I beat him is I just kept using drain on him, and like then when other enemies would come by, I would chop them up and turn around and fatality him over and over again until eventually it wore him down enough that I could grab him and like crush his skull.
So this game ends up having a flip over the enemy kit mechanic like the Arkham games does.
Oh, it's the fucking same.
It is very much. Yep. Including having a separate upgrade that causes it to give him a full stun.
So funny.
And you also, like, instead of, like, you remember Batman when you did your cape?
Yeah.
And it would stun him? You know, you got the Wraith stun in this where you'd hit B and it would do, and like hit him and stun him, and then you would do the fast attack with your sword. It's the same in Batman.
Dude.
It's really funny, too, because some of the moves in this game is like, it makes more sense in this universe than in Batman, because it's like, I still don't understand how Batman's finishers are supposed to one-shot super kick people in a non-permanent way to put them to sleep for 5 seconds. In this game, you're like, okay, you're chopping people's heads off, whatever. Then other times you're doing stuff and you're like, this is literally a Batman move. I just basically batter into this guy or whatever.
That's really funny. And the whole time I was playing this, though, like, this made me look at that combat system in a different way. How good would a game with a similar combat system to this be set in the Star Wars universe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Because there's total justification for flipping over dudes' backs. That's literally a Star Wars
move. One thing that
move.
really cemented that to me was like the whole thing where you hold your hand out and you stun the enemy to get your arrows back or whatever from them, like with the B button attack. That's a force choke, baby.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And, you know, they could do that because, what is it, Jedi Survivor, and then whatever the other one was, the newer games, they're more soulsy. So, like, you still have an avenue for a good hack and slash. So, not a bad idea. We're dropping all kinds of ideas for developers on this show today. We speak things into existence. Let's see something fucking happen.
I'm still going to play your game with SV Realism _1 on.
Now, we keep talking about the fatalities and stuff. They were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many good ones, dude. Like, you know, grabbing them, pulling them down on a sword and ripping it out, or just decapitations. Like, I'm pretty sure I had one where dude swung that sword like he was Babe Ruth and just sliced this fucking orc's head off, and that thing just went rolling into the sky. Like, so good.
I feel like this game had a really weird idea as to how much violence it was allowed to do at any point in time, too. Because it's like, it was free-for-all for decapitations. You could bloodily decapitate a dude. It would cut away, though, when, like, a dead orc chieftain's ear would get cut off.
Yeah. In the cutscenes, and they'd slice it. Yeah, I remember exact cutscene you're talking about. Yeah. And I wonder if that's more so they didn't want to animate that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it also felt like a lot of the ones where you're like, you throw them down and you just wiggle your dagger around in their guts or whatever. It feels like the camera always finds a way to keep it from being too graphic on those. But when it comes to chopping off heads, it's like, oh, absolutely. And aside from that, there's no other like amputation effects or whatever in the game. It seemed really interesting.
Also notice their blood's not red.
Yeah, it's black, the black ichor of the Uruk eye.
But also that helps them get around those pesky ratings for, decapitations with red blood spraying everywhere. So that helps too. But yeah, I know that helps in world. Uruks didn't have red blood, so that makes sense.
Yeah, having non-human enemies really helps with ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What was that Carmageddon where to release it in Europe or something, they had to change all the pedestrians you could run over into zombies? And then suddenly no one cared. They're like, well, if they're already dead.
That's funny.
That's fine. Made their blood green instead of red or something. Yeah, just ridiculousness.
Let's see. I wanted to bring up a couple points about the story while we're still early on. I did agree with Nathan that when you first started the game, it really felt very much like you are generic fantasy protagonist with a dark history, and fusing with the Wraith at first is just like the Wraith is mysterious or whatever. You don't really learn much until later. I do think at about the midpoint of the main plot, it actually does start to feel a lot more Lord of the Ringsy, instead of like you're going around a place that just has Gollum and Lord of the Rings words in it. Because I didn't get big Mordor vibes out of what was going on for the most part. I don't know about you guys, but it just kind of seemed like kind of just a slightly crummy world instead of the absolute hell world I imagined.
Yeah, dude,
Mordor
that was
to be.
not whatever I pictured Mordor to be like. That's like what I would picture, like maybe like the outskirts of Mordor to be like, where like things are starting, like where the blackness is creeping in, but not quite set in yet. If that's the worst that world has to offer, it sucks, but could be a hell of a lot worse.
Right? You could live in Detroit.
I mean, I don't think we were on the threshold of Mount Doom or whatever, but we were absolutely in Mordor proper, not like outside. We weren't in the suburbs, a county outside of Mordor, you know?
What was interesting to me is that the second map that you go to, there's a fucking beach.
Yeah, it's even nicer.
It's a beach.
The second map is absolutely pleasant.
There's green grass everywhere. There's a beach. There's coves.
So were you telling me we could have Lord of the Rings beach party?
Yeah, we could.
In Mordor.
Man. Who invite the elves?
Surf's up.
Dude, yeah, it's I don't know. The final place that you go, like for the final battles and stuff, that looks more Lord of the Ringsy. But like, dude, that's the last 10 minutes or however long it takes you to do those fights.
Well, I didn't do those fights, so
yeah.
I didn't mind the setting. I thought it was fine, but like you guys said, it's not Mordor. It is still very much like that could have been honestly Winterfell from Game of Thrones before it was what I would picture Mordor to be like.
That's another series that could probably do a cool game like this.
I'm really surprised we didn't get a shit ton of Game of Thrones video games at that time.
Yeah.
And the ones we got were all like fantasy, like board games
Telltale.
and Telltale stories.
I forgot
and
about
RPGs
the Telltale
like,
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild that we didn't just get like an action slash. Like we didn't get
because it's another
Song of Ice and Fire Warriors, which they really should have considered. You know, making a Muso game out of it.
Oh, bro, that'd be sick.
Do not pursue Jaime Lannister.
It would probably be the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, because there's so many characters to choose from in that.
Yeah, it really has some like classic Dynasty Warriors vibes. So many factions that are against each other. A large map.
Perfect, in all honesty, like as a Muso game. Like now that you say it.
What you're telling me is that George R.R. Martin just took the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and just fantasified it. Is that
No, he took the War of the Roses and fantasified it.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's the War of the Roses, but dragons.
Dragons. Cool story, bro. Needs more dragons and shit. He took that personally. Oh man. So Willie, was there more things you wanted to talk about the story? You said you had a few.
I think that was kind of the main thing. Like, I mean, you get some. As far as I know, you don't get a lot of actual main characters showing up or whatever, but you see the effects of main characters. Gollum's still mumbling about Baggins is being filthy hobbitses and tricksing him and stuff, and there is a character that, I mean, has really obviously been corrupted by Saruman, and plot twist is that character was corrupted by Saruman.
That's funny as hell.
I was gonna say, bro, you're a cheeky bastard sometimes.
And when you free that character from Saruman, you get an achievement called the White Wizard.
Nice.
Dude, so can I bring up an issue I had with this story?
Yeah.
It's the same. I think we talked about this off air, so I'm going to bring it up again. If I've already mentioned it, sorry. I had the same issue with this game that I had with one of my favorite games, which was Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. All right. So back in the day, PS2, Xbox era, there was Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. It was basically like, what if we took Final Fantasy X and ripped it off and made a Lord of the Rings game with it? It was tremendous.
Kind of sounds can't miss to
me. It was fucking
yeah.
awesome. You played as some side characters. It didn't matter, and you would run into like every now, like you might have a fight where Gandalf's in your party for that fight, and things like that. But that game got to a point where you were doing a lot of exploring and leveling up and all that, and then you hit this point. It was almost like the dev team either had to crunch for time or ran out of money, because you hit big battle, then you get out of that, you run like 5 steps, you get into another big battle, and then after that you get into another big battle, and then it cuts you from that straight into the battle with the Eye of Sauron. You beat that, credits roll. It's like all of a sudden the game just fucking ends. And I had that same experience with this game, where it's like I'm going through and I'm doing all these quests. Now, granted, I still had a lot of side content to do, right? I didn't try to kill everyone in the final. Oh no, I take that back. Yes, I did. In the second wave of war chiefs, because I branded all the. It doesn't matter, the gritty details, but at the end, you do this big battle, and it's epic. Don't get me wrong; it's a cool battle, but you go from that to fighting boss, kill boss, game over, and you're just like, oh, and then it's like, yeah, you can keep exploring if you want to, and it's like, and I uninstalled it.
Yeah,
because I was like, I've done what I needed to do. That being said, I feel like this game is like a big tutorial for the sequel. From everything I've read, the sequel is good as fuck.
Is that Shadow of War?
Yeah. I was going to say, you guys have probably heard John talk about it in the Tadpog Discord. He's like, Shadows of War is so good. Or however his voice is. I love John's voice so much. I just like listening to him talk. I don't know why. But I've heard him rave about it. And the people that I've seen review it on YouTube and stuff said it's so much better than Shadow. If you like Shadow of Mordor, you will love Shadow of War. So that'd be a cool game to get to at some point.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to get to it at some point. Like, this game didn't suck me in. Like I said, I spent 2 hours and I'm like, yeah, I think I know what this game's about. And at this point, I'm like, I kind of just want to play Persona 5 right now. So that's been pretty good for me. But, like, yeah, like, I like this game. I do. But, like, it's one of those games that feels like to me that if this was the game that you had in 2014, you could have spent so much damn time there, play the hell out of it, and not get bored of it. In 2023, where we have so many games that are so similar to this one that are better, even games that came out before it were similar and better, but
yeah,
like, you had less games at the time, so this would have been fantastic in 2014.
Yeah, when I had this on my PS.
But there's games that have simultaneously better combat and better open world. Like, you could be playing Elden Ring, basically.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, I really enjoyed this game. And then I played The Witcher the next year. The Witcher 3. And was like, holy shit. Like, just, wow. So, like, going back to this one, it's like, okay, yeah, this game's cool. This game's really small.
Oh, I mean, I want to say I was busting on the writing a lot. I want to say I did think that Talion was written in a, like, he really does come off very much like a man of Gondor and a ranger and all that. Like, he really does have those Aragorn type vibes, and he seems like you get the character pretty quick.
I do think if they ever wanted, because they've played the shit out of and they're doing another series on Lord of the Rings and all this type of stuff, but like, if they ever wanted to do something like another movie, and don't make it a trilogy, but you could do a duology.
Don't let Peter Jackson be involved, and it'll be okay. Just do not let Peter Jackson be involved.
Did he do the Hobbit movies too?
Yes.
Oh, then get somebody else. It's time for him to give it up to someone else. Let them try. But do a Shadow of Mordor.
As long as it's not J.J. Abrams.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Nah, man. Coming next summer, J.J. Abrams. Ocean Gate.
Let's let Michael Bay. Let Michael freaking Bay do a Lord of the Rings movie.
That would.
I bet the scenes with the OnlyFans would be sick.
I bet a Michael Bay Shadow of Mordor movie. The war scenes would be fantastic. I don't know how I guess it would be just like the game. There would be no substance.
Yup.
But it would be all flash and bang, and it would be sweet.
I don't think it would be a good movie, but it would be an interesting movie.
No, you know what? Fuck that. Let's give it to Uwe. Let's just see what happens. He did Far Cry. It was awful. He did Blood Rain. It was awful. He did whatever that other movie was, and that was awful too. So like,
Postal.
In the Name of the
yeah,
King.
he did Postal. Did he do Hitman? No, he didn't do Hitman.
I don't think he did Hitman.
I heard Hitman wasn't great.
In the Name of the King, Dungeon Siege Tale is the one that sticks out to me for Uwe Boll the most. I've seen that one the most times because I worked out at a gym that had a theater that for some reason, at least once a week, played that freaking movie. It's so bad. But at the same time, I came to like, oh, hell yeah, Dungeon Siege Tale is on. Let's go do the elliptical.
You know what gets me turned to get on the recumbent bike? The cinematic stylings of Uwe Boll. Yeehaw!
Dude, when I used to go to the local gym, there was this old man who would always come in and get on the bike not necessarily next to me, but he'd get on the bikes while I was on the bike. And it never failed. No matter what I was watching, he would come in and change the channel to the weather channel. And I was like, man, yeah, this is really hyping me up. Fucking the 8s on the 8 or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Weather on the 8s.
It's hot in Topeka.
Can't wait to hear about the tornado coming through Oklahoma this weekend.
Yeah. Could you spot me? Jeez. So, you want to give ratings?
Yeah.
Man, short
ratings
boy.
and final thoughts.
Short boy today, yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, I don't think there's that much to say about it. The combat feels like a simple version of Batman. We didn't really talk about how the Nemesis system works, but I think people have heard about it. But basically, enemies remember what you do. They get promoted within the ranks if you kill their superiors. And if an orc kills you, then they get promoted to become a captain.
Yeah.
And
I will...
Sometimes if you kill a dude, they don't seem to stay dead.
I will say that is a really cool mechanic, in my opinion. That Nemesis system. I understand why they trademarked that, and they don't let anyone else use it because it's super cool.
It was really cool the first few times I saw it, but then I was like, I don't care about this. Skip.
Yeah, but I just liked the implementation.
Yeah.
You know, like where you ran up on a dude and he's like, "Oh, you won't kill me again this time, Ranger." And it's like, "Oh, you've been reforged because you have a big split down your face where I cut it in half last time."
Yeah.
And like there's little hints like that. And then at the end, like not to spoil it for Willie in case you want to go back and beat it because it's not really a huge spoiler, but whichever one that you kill the most times, you end up having a big fight with at the end. He's not the final boss, but during that battle, he comes up and his face is all disfigured and stuff. And he's like, "Remember me, Ranger? You won't get past me."
Oh man, I don't want to fight this. I don't want to fight Ortho again. I hate this guy already.
So yeah, you have that to look forward to, which I thought was cool. And like I said, they fleshed specifically the Nemesis system apparently is like a whole other level in Shadow of War. So
cool.
But yeah, I mean, again, we pretty much covered this game. If it sounds like cool to you, you want to get in there and just whoop some orc ass, this is a great game for it. If you want good Lord of the Rings, go read the fucking books.
Exactly.
That's all I can recommend, because like, or maybe play those old PS2 games that were along with the movies. Those weren't bad. But as far as story wise, you're not missing much here. So I'm gonna give this game a 7.5 out of 10 Urukai.
Yeah, for me, what I want to kind of say is, like, I feel like I've done a disservice in the past of giving games higher ranks than they deserve a lot of the time. And I'm going to kind of adjust downwards on how I rank things moving forward. But this game, I think, is good. I think it's a very good game for what it is. And like I said, in 2014, this would have been a game that I could have spent as much time as I spent in Tears of the Kingdom on. You know what I mean? But yeah, this game, all in all, it's fun, has a good combat system. I think it doesn't do things as well as other games that have came before it and after it, but it's still good for right when it was. And I will go ahead and give this game a 7 Uruks out of 10 highs.
Okay, Willie, what about you, bud?
I mean, this is basically the same number range I was looking at too. Is like, I actually had a lot of fun with it. I really did enjoy it. I don't think it's like exceptional in any way, but it's really fun. I'm going to give it, like, I feel like if I give a game an 8, that basically means I'm saying, even if you're not interested in this genre, you should probably check it out. And if you are, you must play it. So I think it is the next tier down from that. So I think I'm going to give it like a high 7.5. 7.5 skulls out of 10 unknown commanders.
Okay, fair enough. All right, now, here's my next question for you, gentlemen. We have 3 things to get to next. We have my host pick. We have fan questions. And we have game giveaways. Which would you guys like to do first?
Giveaways, questions, host pick.
Beautiful.
That's the order I was sticking to, actually.
All right, then.
So pull up the randomizer and get those game keys ready to give away, Mr. Dalton.
Let me obscure y'all's faces really quickly.
I know, I wouldn't want to look at us either.
All right, so we had, for reaching 10 5-star reviews on iTunes, coincidentally, we had 10 people react to the post that I put in the Discord saying that we would give away Steam keys. For that, I have a lot of Steam keys that I've gotten duplicates of over the years. So I'm not gonna promise that you're gonna love the game, but you're getting a game. So, in descending order from 1 through 10, let's see who's gonna get drawn first, and that is going to be one Mr. Chad Shaffer. So, Chad,
the Mad Lad.
Chad the Mad Lad Shaffer, and there's no C in his goddamn last name. Let's see. What do I want to give you, Chad? Chad, I am going to give you Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Ooh. Didn't Jeff get Rebel Galaxy and really like that one? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't remember.
That's
a possibility.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, so let me delete this down to 9. And we'll roll random number for the next one. And that is going to be Tux Deluxe.
Hey, Tux.
And Tux, let's see. I'm going to give you... Tux is going to get Hot Shot Racing.
I actually think I've played that one. It's pretty fun.
All right.
That one actually kind of looked like a blast. I don't think I've played it before, but it looks fun.
All right, so... Whoops, I did the wrong.
Yeah, I have played Hot Shot Racing. That one's pretty fun.
All right, up next we got Hans. So Hans, let's see, what am I going to give Hans? I know the kind of stuff that he typically plays. Hans, I'm going to give you Shadow's Awakening. So let's copy that and we'll paste that over there. All right, now we'll move that to 7. Getting down to the gritty. We're going to roll. Oh, okay. Steph. And Steph, if I could, I would just give you Dead by Daylight blood points instead of a game. Let's see. What's something I would want to watch you stream, Steph? You like spooky games. All right. Steph is going to get Indigo Prophecy.
Nice.
Ooh. okay, there is an undo. I was like, I hit the wrong button. Whoops. All right. So speed this along. I'm just talking to myself at this point. All right, Team Retrogue. Team Retrogue is getting.
Follow him on YouTube.
Go follow him on YouTube. Absolutely. Because I want him to play it with us sometime. Team Retrogue, you are getting Garfield Kart Fury.
I love that game.
It starts.
That game's fantastic. It's way when a game is so good that it crashes into French.
Nate genuinely does enjoy that game, though. He's not being ironic on any level, which I think is
it's
even
not
funnier.
great, but it's so much fun. Like, I did 100% Steam achievement because I was having so much fun playing it.
Oh man! All right. Next up, Jeremy.
Oh man, the villain.
The villain. Which of these games has the worst graphics? Nah, I'll be nice. I'm gonna give Jeremy a copy of Torchlight.
Oh hell yeah, Torchlight's fun.
Torchlight's fun. Put that there. All right, roll next. And up next we got Green Stash.
All right.
I know nothing about this person other than I believe it's Dane's brother.
And he's pretty good at pinball, apparently. Like, there was a pinball competition on the Tadpog Discord, and he dominated.
Hell yeah.
He more than doubled my points total in that competition.
Damn. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give Green Stash Fantasy Wars. I'm not sure. I own that game, and I know it's something. I think it's like an RTS RPG, but I don't know.
Something.
I'm picking these games. I'm just picking these games at random. All right, so up next we got. Well, we have the brother. We got Dane. All right, Dane. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself. I don't know why, Dane, but I have an undeniable urge to give you Internet Cafe Simulator.
Huh.
So I'm going to give you Internet Cafe Simulator. And up next is Jish. I'm going to assume your name is actually Josh. But Jish, you are new to the Discord. Welcome. Have a game. I'm going to give you White Knight, which I think is a cool-looking horror game, but I could be wrong.
I know I have it, but I have not played it.
And if I happen to give you a game that you already own or anything like that, let me know, and I'll do what I can to swap it out for you. Or you can just pass on the good favor, whatever you would like to do. And that only leaves one person left. El Jefe.
Oh.
The Cthusiast.
Mr. Syllables.
Mr. Syllables. Old Jeffy Lube. Mr. Nicknames. What do I want to give Jeff?
Besides the clap.
I was going to say besides gonorrhea, so yeah, absolutely.
Besides an axe to the back of the head from a ghost.
He's got an axe. Ah! I know Jeff can be kind of an old school PC gamer sometimes. Jeff's going to get Age of Wonders 3.
Sweet.
Wow, classic.
So, everyone... Oh, I just fucked up.
Well, you can go back and listen to this segment and pick them back out.
Yeah, I'll figure out. I just got to figure out what I gave Chad because I don't remember. That's okay. I'll figure it out. All right. So, if you heard your name... How about this? If you heard your name and I said what game you got, DM me and let me know what game you won, and I will send you a code for it. There. Solved.
Nice.
Beautiful. All right,
And
gentlemen.
don't try to say
questions.
he said Elden Ring, because we know he did not.
Yeah.
I was literally going to DM him and tell him, he said I want Elden Ring, right? Like, that was the exact joke game I was going to give even. That's hilarious.
So we got some fan questions, Nate.
Yes, we do. Let's roll on into the mailbag, because we just got a letter. The first question comes in from our good buddy Fenris. So Fenris wants to know, what are your thoughts on Street Fighter 6 and its new modern controls?
I don't have any. I haven't seen any gameplay of Street Fighter 6. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I've actually been I don't have the game yet, but for some reason I've been watching a lot of this one guy on YouTube named Nephew play it, and like Street Fighter 6 looks like they've done a lot to make the game more accessible for a new audience than Street Fighter 5. Like, Street Fighter 6 looks like the kind of game where you can jump in and not have to be as technical, and it has a much more robust single-player mode for people that just want to go bash some buttons and don't want to learn all the combos and get into the competitive side of things. It has a lot of good training modes, too. And one of the things that they added, like you mentioned, Fenders, was the modern controls, which I don't know a lot about because I don't think I would use them personally, but it's a more simplified control scheme. But it limits the player's options of what they can do, but it makes the game easier to play. So I think it's a really good option for a new player that wants to come in and be able to do things without having to learn, standing jab to medium punch to fierce kick, blah, blah, blah. They just have a much more simplified version of the controls and can just go in there and actually just start doing stuff. I think it's a cool thing. Like, obviously, competitively, I think it's going to put anyone who wants to play that control scheme at a disadvantage. But if you're just wanting to go and have fun one player, I think it's perfect.
It seems good to be able to learn your fundamentals of things like spacing and all of that without having to worry about very precise inputs and all that as well. So, like, I mean, one thing traditional fighting games I think tend to get a weird reputation for is really arcane inputs and stuff. So anything that can put that in the backseat and let people enjoy the joy of fighting games. And then, it's kind of like, I guess you could eventually say you're kind of graduating from automatic to manual transmission in a racing game.
That's a good analogy, I feel like, for sure.
That is a very good analogy. I also want to say that I appreciate that they put in like the RPG mode or whatever it is. I think that's pretty cool. That would make me more apt to play it. Because again, we've talked about it, and we're talking about fighting games, gotta bring it up. Toe Ball number 1 and Toe Ball number 2 had that quest mode that I loved as a kid. So anything remotely like that, bring it on. Yeah,
because I would like to pick up Street Fighter 6, but I also would definitely want to get like the deluxe version with all the added costumes and DLC, because like, I'm that kind of guy when it comes to that kind of game.
Yeah, for sure. You're playing Dead or Alive beach volleyball until you get all the bikinis.
Exactly. All right. So this next one comes in from Adam, and he wants to know, what do you think they mean by a more adult Dragon Quest 12? I have more puff. That would be the best scenario. My concern... I have a lot of concerns about Dragon Quest 12, and one of those is them making it a more adult-themed type of game. I am really concerned they're just going to turn it into another branch of Final Fantasy. That's what I'm worried that means.
Yeah, like, Dragon Quest has always been kind of campy.
Mm-hmm.
Where Final Fantasy were the games that really took themselves seriously. Dragon Quest was like the buddy comedy version of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I've also read where they were like thinking about changing up the way the battle system works and stuff. And I'm like, Squeenix, stop.
Yeah, like, I'm so scared they're going to turn this into a modern Final Fantasy game, and I'm just going to be the saddest boy.
Yeah. But hear me out. I could be wrong, but I think Dragon Quest is way more popular in Japan than Final Fantasy is. Whereas I think it's just the opposite over here. Whereas Final Fantasy hit it big over here. Dude, they don't want to piss people off in their homeland because they know where they work. They'll come to the fucking Square Enix headquarters and be like, listen here, you fucked up our Dragon Quest. There's a million of us out here protesting because we all play Dragon Quest. It's a national holiday whenever Dragon Quest games come out.
Yeah,
or they release them on Saturdays or something, so nobody's at work, so nobody calls in because everybody calls in.
Yeah, like there's side quests in like other video games that are basically like, the new Dragon Quest game just came out.
Yeah. Is it Akira Quest? Or something.
It was something, yeah.
Tremendous.
Love Yakuza. But yeah, that's what I'm worried they mean by a more adult Dragon Quest 12, Adam, and I hope they don't do that.
Because okay, so I've played through like a quarter of 8, and I've played through all of 11, and I love the way those games are. They don't need to be gritty.
Yeah.
They have their moments where there's some dark shit happening, but like, let me go get a poof poof. You know, like, let me fight some cute-ass little-looking enemies that hit me for way harder than they should.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just let me do it. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, do not screw up Akira Toriyama's art direction.
Yeah, all of a sudden they released like a Borderlands cell shading style. And it's like, no!
Yeah, please don't do this to me. All right. This next one's going to be a lot of fun. This one comes in from Adam as well. And he wants us to make a D&D party from Discord members and their classes. You are not allowed to steal from your Baldur's Gate party, Dalton.
Okay, but that's fucked up. Because I put like serious thought into that party. And like made sure I picked things that I thought fit you guys. So fuck you. Do what I want.
Fuck yeah, do what I want.
Who wants to start it off?
All right, so I think this one kind of goes without saying, and this is not part of the party, but this is the main villain of our arc. And our main villain is going to be a dark mage that has tremendous battle capability, and that is going to be Jeremy.
Jezza the Wizard.
Yep. The Jizzard.
That's exactly what I was saying. The Jizzard. The Rizzard. The Jizzard. Old dirty rogue Inspector Quan. Was it? Ranger, man. Sorry. Good.
TSMP.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. I'm trying to think. Like, there was a lot of people in Discord, so I'm just trying to pick people out. Jeff.
I feel so weird about calling people out. I'm not sure how to handle this one.
I don't care.
Jeff is a druid that can only turn into a cat.
A fox.
Beautiful. Yeah, there you go. He turns into a fox, and we look at him and be like, "What'd you say?" And he's like, "Fuck you." I'm not singing that stupid song again. We're like, "Come on." Adam himself, he's in the military. I'm gonna say Adam would be like a ranger, a scout.
Yeah.
You know, he send him out have him slap some camo on his face and go hide in the bush.
Yeah. After these last few weeks, or hasn't even been a month now, of just all of the Duke Nukem like campaigning, Master Loot has come across as a real barbarian to me. So we're gonna let Master Loot come in there and just start pummeling shit.
Yeah.
Barbarian, not illusionist?
Oh.
He's creating all these fanciful voices.
Could be barbarian / illusionist.
That would be a wild character to play. Yep.
And I feel like Dane would also have the illusionist subclass, but I don't think Dane would be barbarian. I think Dane would be more like alchemist or something.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
He'd just cook something up and be like, Duke sent this.
I don't think he'd be in the party. I think he'd be like a villain that returns every now and then. Is like, riddle me this, TSMP losers.
That also makes sense.
The right hand of Jeremy.
I feel like we have to think of something for Team Retrogue, because that guy's also kind of like technomancer kind of thing. What would be a good class for that guy?
Oh, man.
In 4th edition, they had something called a warlord, which was like a more martially themed class that was like a cleric or a bard or whatever, and that they enhanced the people around him.
Okay.
That's kind of possible, because he's like a teacher and shit. Yeah. So, but I feel like he'd be more of less of a magic type and more of a fighty type in a way. I don't know.
No,
I'm just spitballing.
Sure. Whip them kids' ass.
Warlord.
Fenris. I'm giving Fenris cleric, healer. I am almost positive that I can't count how many dungeons that Fenris has healed for me. Either that or playing red mage or like one of those support classes. So I absolutely, Fenris is a cleric, 100%.
So which class would you say probably likes waifus the most?
Bard.
Kana is our bard.
Kana's a bard. Me and Kana just sitting in the corner trying to woo the ladies. Yeah, Kana can be my wing woman. That'd be great. Yeah.
Bards are very known for like being played with I've got charisma, let me try to seduce this character. Let me try to seduce this character.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it before. my bard when we were playing had
You have
the 30
definitely
charisma.
You definitely
Yeah.
mentioned this. Yeah.
That brought me so many blessings.
You've told some
and
stories
so many
about
curses.
this. So many curses.
Tremendous, dude. Oh god, I love D&D.
Good times.
Nice.
I feel like we probably forgot a bunch of people because there's like 90 people in our Discord now, but that's the people who normally talk.
Yeah, those are some of the big hitters that talk a lot. If you want a class and we didn't say one, bring it up in our chat.
Yeah, just volunteer. Yeah, put it in the questions. We'll clash you up.
All right.
Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the two we didn't mention for the Patreon section.
Okay.
Let's at least get them. So James Hall, I know him better than you guys because he's kind of quiet in the Discord, but he's very much another tech savvy guy. So I would give him something to do with like what would you call? I guess it would be like an alchemist style thing where you craft the potions and throw them.
A gnomish artificer.
There you go. Beautiful, because like he builds his computers and stuff, and he's always sending me pictures like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing this time," and blah blah blah.
That's sick.
That's rad.
Hell yeah. And then Chad the Mad Lad.
Just him being a mad lad makes me want to make him a barbarian.
100. I was about to say 100% barbarian. He's the Mad Lad. He just berserked him, Nate, and whoever we made
Master
the other
Lute.
barbarian because my mind is blank. Master Lute, yeah. You three we'll send you guys out first.
Let's talk out.
And you just run out there and start swinging.
Because it just makes me think of when we played Borderlands and I was the barbarian type character and all I wanted to do was rage.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. This one's from Banksy. They want to know, what games did you plan on / did you get from the Steam sale?
I don't know, Banksy, what have you painted lately?
So the games that I picked up during the Steam sale were, I got Pizza Tower because I've heard a lot of good things about that game, and this is the first time I've seen it on sale, and I'm like, gotta pick this up because you know how I love my platformers. I finally grabbed Elden Ring. I got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Woo!
I got Dark Souls Remastered because that's the first time I've been waiting for it to go on sale for forever.
When you said, "Oh my god, Dark Souls is on sale," I was like, "Hallelujah!" He's been waiting for like a year and a half,
almost as longer than I was waiting for freaking Nier Automata to go on sale.
Yeah,
and then I also picked up Wreckfest at the suggestion of Jeremy, and this one you've been wanting us to get for a while, and I've picked it up because it looks really pretty. The Unfinished Swan.
Yes, bitch. Yes. That is such a cool game.
So that's what I picked up on the Steam sale. Probably not going to buy anything else for a while, so I'm done shopping for the moment.
I get paid tomorrow.
Sick.
So I'll hash out like what I'm actually going to get. Like I told myself I might get one game. And I haven't decided if that game's going to be Diablo 4. And if it is, then that doesn't matter about the Steam sale. But I've been keeping my eye out there. But I have picked up 3 games because they were super cheap. I picked up Half-Life Opposing Force and Half-Life Blue Shift.
Oh, nice.
They were both like 50 cents each.
Sweet.
But they're spin-offs
Wow.
from the original Half-Life. And I think they're still on sale right now. And I picked up Monster Crown. Which, Monster Crown, let me just give you a quick store page read. I said that, and then it took forever to load. There we go. Dive into a dark world where monsters rule and make pacts with them to defeat an evil young woman seeking power. Hunt, battle, tame, breed monsters to create your own legacy. Together with your monsters, you can restore the balance of the Crown Island. So, it's a Pokemon style game.
Nothing wrong with that.
But you know me, I love them. I love monster collectors.
Same. Like, that's honestly been one of my favorite parts of Persona, is getting all the different personas and fusing them and doing all that. It's like one of my favorite parts of that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I always say like Persona's like Pokemon for adults, which the review on this store page that sold me on this game says Monster Crown take 2. Monster Crown is Pokemon for grown-ups. It takes creature collector genre to a more mature place you didn't know you wanted, but you do. You definitely do. So I was like, all right, I'm interested.
Sweet.
What you, Willie? Have you picked anything up on the Steam sale yet?
I
Sweet.
got Dark Souls also.
Yeah.
And I also picked up the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War and the DLC all together at once.
So you got War too. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so,
I did.
Cool. Then I think we all own that now.
We do. So that can come up for the show.
Yeah.
We'll all be good to go.
Nice.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Okay, so this next one was an image from Team Retrogue. I posted it in our recording chat if you want to see it. So basically what this image is it's choose 2 to protect you. The rest will try to kill you. So the choices are 9 characters from Nintendo. They are Donkey Kong, Luigi, Link, Pit, Mario, Samus, Yoshi, Fox McCloud, and Kirby. See,
Did you say his name was Pit?
Pit, yeah.
Oh, I always just called him Kid Icarus. Okay, I didn't realize he had an actual
He's
name.
Pit
Okay.
from Kid Icarus.
Yeah, it's Donkey Kong, Luigi, Zelda, Kid Icarus,
you.
Mario, Metroid.
You son of a bitch.
So I think I know which
got me
2
on
I
that,
want to
not gonna lie.
protect me. To me, they're kind of obvious, the 2 that I want to protect me, but what do you guys think?
I think mine's a pretty obvious one too, although I'm not sure if we have the exact
I think
same
we
two.
are all going to have one that's going to be the same, unless I'm completely mistaken about Dalton's frame of mind.
You might be.
That just depends on how much he knows about the lore, I think.
Me and you definitely both have Kirby.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
I wanted to pick Kirby too because yes, I'm aware that Kirby's ridiculous. I don't know to the extent Kirby's ridiculous, but I know that Kirby's ridiculous. But I knew both of you guys were going to pick them, so I'm like, all right. So what would I go if I didn't pick Kirby?
Yeah, because Kirby's basically a god killer. Like Kirby, he might be 8 inches tall canonically, but like he is so fucking OP.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he'll suck up the entire universe, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're a Katamari, and you have to make a new star.
Yeah. That could totally be the ending of a Kirby game, and it wouldn't make any less sense in a lot of them.
So y'all both have Kirby then. So who are your second picks, and then I'll give you mine.
So the second one was a little bit harder for me. It was between 3 of the remaining characters, but I think I know which one is my second pick.
I'm settling on Pit.
Me
I'm
too,
picking
because
Pit
he's
from
the
my other
closest thing to another god. He's like an angel with all these crazy abilities as well. Like, yeah.
He's fought against Greek gods, so he's got a pretty high power level. If he can hold his own against Hades and a character that's like the goddess of nature and all of that, he's probably pretty tough.
Okay. I'm gonna go Pit as my first choice. And then it's a hard choice between 2 of them for me, which were my original 2 picks until you reminded me that, oh yeah, Pit's also almost like a god. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But also, you both picked him too. So you know what? Fuck that. I'm going Samus and Star Fox. Just both.
So you just got a bounty hunter squad.
Yeah.
You're just going to pay him a lot and hope it goes out
Yeah,
real
we're gonna
for
go through
you.
a black hole. We're gonna pick up Boba Fett on the way through. Like we're gonna maybe we'll even go back in time, pick up
And
Django.
then Link is going to show up and use the power of 3 goddesses to destroy you.
Link and Samus were my 2 honorable mentions. Like, I feel like. But, like, yeah, if I could have them protecting me. Like, I'm sorry. If you choose Mario or Luigi to protect you, you're dumb.
Yeah. Hey, we're fixing your toilet. We'll do it while we're on the mushrooms. It'll be great.
And, like, Donkey Kong and Yoshi, I don't think are much better than Mario and Luigi. They're a little better, but not much better.
I mean, Donkey Kong is strong as fuck, but
I feel like picking Yoshi is like using the knife in Counter-Strike. You're just really hoping for a humiliation win.
but when you get it, it's so sweet. But yeah, man, I mean, like so basically it cuts down to, okay, who has ranged attacks? Because that takes out anyone who doesn't. So like Donkey Kong, dead. Luigi, Mario, dead. Yoshi, dead. All have headshots. They're toast.
Yeah.
Link's got a bow, so he can at least kind of fire back, but he's taking bullets. So there he's getting bullets and laser fire coming at him while he's trying to load up an arrow. So he might take one.
Link is super powerful, but I don't think he's at the same level as some of these others.
No. But then again, Kirby just
sucks up the bullet and shoots it back at you.
Yeah. Faster to speed of light, and you're just and it slows the world down like an anime, and everything goes black and white, so you don't show blood. It's
Yeah.
All out attack.
So basically, our tiers are: do they have god powers? Do they have gun powers? Or are they
Pretty
screwed?
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun one, but like, I do think it gets kind of obvious when you look into the lore that Mario and Luigi are just screwed, y'all.
Yeah.
They're just a couple
Just
of
a couple
guys.
guys. Just a couple little guys.
Oh. It's like,
They're just some little guys.
you can throw fireballs. Here, I can shoot bombs out of my phone.
Link just materializes a bomb out of nowhere and throws it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Meanwhile, Star Fox has a like a Star Destroyer, and how
Right.
one little strike against you.
all right. So this next one's from Adam. So what was the game in which you knew you were all in on gaming? So what was that game that made you like, yeah, I love video games?
It's probably Super Mario Brothers. I mean, it's really hard to say it's not.
It definitely
you know?
has to be one of those first NES games that we had as a kid. So between like Super Mario Brothers and Punch Out, like it's those two games for sure. I know Dalton had a different trajectory in video games since he was I almost said Master System. Master System kid. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you almost said Master Lube. No, yeah, I had.
He's a master something, all right.
Hey, you're not wrong. Yeah, I had a Master System and an NES, but I liked my Master System more. But if I had to give it to one of those old school games probably the one that I played the most as far as like just gaming wise, probably Star Tropics.
Wow.
But I would say that it was probably more so when I got my PlayStation and started really getting into some of the games on there. Jersey Devil, Croc, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, Tekken, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid. Those were the games that it was like, those are my childhood defining games. While I love these NES games and these Sega Master System games, like the original Phantasy Star and stuff, they're tremendous. They were also really fucking hard when I was a kid. So like, I appreciated them, but they were more like a thing to do, As I'm older now, I appreciate them much more, and I have way more patience for them, even though sometimes I'm like, man, I feel like I was better at this when I was a fucking child.
Dude, like when I streamed, I can't tell you how many NES games I finally beat for the first time ever, just because like, I'm sitting here playing it for hours on end because I have an audience and I want to actually see it for myself, and I'm like not just playing it because I'm bored, I'm playing it because I'm having fun and showing it to people. It's like beating Metroid for the first time ever was a pretty big achievement for me as far as that goes. But like I was thinking about that a little bit too, like games where you're all in on gaming, like yeah, like those are the ones that definitely like pulled me in. But I think ones that made me really keep playing were more towards the Genesis era, like countless hours spent just me and Willie beating the shit out of each other in Street Fighter 2. Like it's hard not to look at that as one of those defining video games. That's why I still love the Street Fighter series to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and in that same vein, it would. I would also lump in the SmackDown games for PlayStation, like the wrestling games, because like fuck, I still play those to this day. Yeah, so it's like man, there's just certain things that really like when you sink so much time into them as a kid, it's kind of like they kind of like stick with you.
Because if you sat Willie and me down in front of a Nintendo 64 with WCW and WWO Revenge, we could probably still sit there for 6 hours and just play it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
All right, and this is the last question we had from Master Loot. What are your plans on upgrading your gaming rigs? Many parts are cheap right now. I'm not planning on doing anything right now. Like, I'm just going to let it roll. I'm having no issues running anything, and I'm not the most knowledgeable about installing stuff to my gaming rig, so I'm just going to let it ride until it becomes a problem.
There's a few things that I would really like. I traded that extra M2 drive that I had because I realized that my fucking motherboard only had one M2 drive slot. So I traded that for the wheel rig that I used for American Truck Simulator and stuff. But like, man, I would like to upgrade my motherboard to one that has two M2 SD or SSD slots. That'd be sweet. I'd like to, now that the 40 series is out, I would like to upgrade to the 30 series. And I would like to upgrade my CPU because I'm running a Intel i6, I think, generation, and that is it's all right. But sometimes I wonder if it's bottlenecking my GPU, just with the way some stuff happens. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I just got a DM from Kana.
Oh,
continue.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, Willie, do you have any plans to upgrade your system at all?
No, again, I think I'm bottlenecking off the CPU too, but like I don't know enough about installing one that I feel as comfortable with that as I did for like installing a RAM chip or a video card. Like I'm a little bit more worried about getting that deep in the guts.
Feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my issue with replacing my motherboard. I'm like, oh man, that's so many things I'm gonna have to plug back in the right.
So many things you could screw up on the way.
So many things. It bugged the shit out of me just knowing like I am so meticulous with like watching a YouTube video 3 times and then I watch it for 10 seconds, pause it, start to go do it. No, I need to watch that again. Watch it one more time. Then go and do it.
That's me anytime I work on a car, dude.
Yeah, same when I'm doing anything on my car. Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%. So, I guess that just leaves me, eh? My next host.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Well, there has been quite a demand for a few different games, right? I don't know if we mentioned it on the actual episode, but again, I want to talk about the underdog story that is Duke Nukem that is happening in our Discord right now. He is now ahead. What a story. It's like if the Jaguars went to the Super Bowl.
Blake Bortles.
I'm speaking it into existence. But there are a lot of different paths that we could take, right? And like when you're walking down paths, sometimes like they're made for you, and then you look up and everything's beautiful and blue, and you feel like you're turning over the next chapter in your life. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at?
There's something about like how there's just this chapter in the sky.
Yeah, dude, like the wheels in the sky keep on turning.
I don't know if I'll see
it might be
tomorrow.
the second chapter of your favorite book. I'm dragging this on to really bother Master Luke. So,
we're playing Octopath Traveler. See you next week.
No, man. We're gonna head back in to the world of Legend of Heroes. We are going to play Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky second chapter. Because what
I'm excited.
Me too. But what really cemented it for me was that video that Master Loot made, where it was like the clip of us on the show being like, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely play this within a year," and then he posted like the video of the fade in of like when that episode came out. It was like a year and a half ago, and then it was like the dude crying, and I was like. It's fucking tremendous.
Dude, I'm loving the creativity in the Discord. Y'all keep this shit off because it's so.
Yeah, please.
It's making it so fun.
That's so good. Yeah.
It is very entertaining to us. We talk about it in the host show chat. I'm like, dude, have you guys seen the ridiculousness that's been in there? And it's like, yeah, dude, it's fantastic.
I know, like, I'm eagerly awaiting what Master Loot says in chat this week.
Yes, hopefully some rejoicing. But yeah, man, Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Gonna go hang out with Josh and Estelle. Willie, you were correct. I'm curious though, what was your second guess? You said you had 2.
Yeah, but I went with the one I thought it was instead.
Fair enough. So then why was your second choice Kiwami 2?
Because that's also a game that could be a 2-parter.
Yeah, you're right. What if I just swerved all of you and been like, we're playing Diablo 1?
Diablo 1 is a 2-part episode. Sure, Dalton.
All right. Well, then, in 2 weeks, we'll be back with Trails in the Sky, second chapter, part 1. Boys, is there anything else you'd like to touch on before we get into the house cleaning and get up?
Let's clean the house, baby.
All righty. If you would like, please go leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. On iTunes, you can give us a 5-star review, or on Spotify, just give us a positive review if you would. If you want to join the Discord, that's really where all the happenings happen. bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. And that will give you an invite. You can come join the shenanigans. We've been having a bunch of people join lately. It's warming the cockles of my heart and the balsels of my heart. So the link to thank you, Willie. The link to the website is bit.ly/the Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically, and it is up to date. Thank you to one Dane himself. If you would like to join the Patreon, which would mean a lot to me, helps me pay the insurance, helps me keep the lights on, and all of that jazz, is patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast. Even $1 a month gets you the episodes early and ad-free. If you want to get your name read out on each and every episode, it is $10 or more a month, like these wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper. Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube himself. Ariesoradam, shout out to his podcast / blog in the Discord, Revival and Extinction. James, the Steam Machine, Hall, Monitor Hall. Team Retrogue, go check him out over on YouTube. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, and Chad, the mad lad, no goddamn C in his name shape. And if you would like to pick up a shirt from one of the various productions that we have, is tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Shout out to YabsPod, yet another BS podcast. Shout out to the JRPG Report, which apparently has been bringing people in. So cool. Welcome. This show is not quite as family friendly, but we hope we're funny. Show music, if you like that, nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. I did just release a new album recently called The Longing. It is only $4. Please go pick it up. The standout songs have been Belonging and December Nights. Have had somebody really like Moonpath though as well, so just go check it out. Tell me what you like. NSFW lyrics, no cursing. I'd still listen to them with headphones though. And yeah, like I said, just leave us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast.
Either listen to with headphones or while you're fucking,
or while you're it is good baby making music, or trying for baby music, or just butt stuff. If you want to do butt stuff, put it on. Whatever floats your boat.
Don't listen to it when your mom's around. I'll listen to it when your mom's around.
There you go. Oh, man. And on that note, gentlemen, for the Destructo Bros, my name is Dalton, and as always, everybody,
Take it easy, Ranger.